welcome to another video. This week I'm going to go through my vinyl copies of Black Celebration. I originally didn't have the vinyl copy, I had it on cassette, a cassette very much like this I think, and I listened to it until it almost fell apart, and then I got it on CD, and it wasn't until a few years later that I actually got it on vinyl. So the first vinyl I got was actually a repress. And you can see it's got a plain sleeve, a slightly sort of matte gloss finish there, but no embossing, and no embossing on the tracks there either. Just for the record, I'm not going to go through this every time because I've got multiple copies. You've got the title track Black Celebration, Fly on the Windscreen final, which was on the B-side of a single, and then it finally landed on this album, A Question of Lust, which was a single. Sometimes it doesn't matter too. A Question of Time, that was a single. Stripped, that was a single. Here Is the House, World Full of Nothing, Dressed in Black, and New Dress. And the inlay on this, you're going to see this time and again in this video, but I'll be quick. It's basically the lyrics with some of the iconography that they did for each song, and the vinyl itself on this copy, that's got the kind of black flag on the label there. So that was my first vinyl copy. I think I bought that, I probably would say 1989 potentially, because it was all about the CDs for me at that time, until I started collecting the 12 inches from a local record store. So then, as I started collecting again more recently, I realised, oh, I haven't got an embossed UK release. So this is the MT version, 1986. This has got the embossing. I'll try and catch the light on purpose now, so you can see it's got the semi-gloss picture, and it's got the embossed symbols on it as well, on the edges there, and also on the back. There's embossing on the back on the tracks, and on the inside it's the same inlay again, and the label's got the black flag on it again. So there are two UK versions. Moving swiftly on, I have had some recent deliveries, and this is one of my more recent deliveries. This is, in the last couple of weeks. So this is a copy from France. Again, it's a 1986 release. It's more gloss finish. There's a bit of fade in here, you can see, unfortunately, but there's a kind of gloss finish over the embossing on this and on the back, and you can see the Virgin label there, because by that time they've moved from Vogue to Virgin, and the Virgin splash there as well. And then on the inside, no great surprise, same sort of track listing again with the icons, and the label has got the Walking Man, but also the Virgin splash as well. And obviously the lettering is slightly different on there too. And this is a 1986 release from Spain. Notice no embossing on this one. I don't know if there is an embossed version in Spain, I haven't checked. Yeah, so plain black back and front, a gloss finish again. Inlay card, slightly different actually. It's got black text on the red tops, red and yellow, and then quite a plain sleeve on this one. So that's the Spanish version. And then next, only in 1986, we've got a US release. I think I got this about a year ago. So we've got the, it's like a matte finish again, with the icons embossed. And the interesting thing about this is there's another track, but not tonight. because it was on the soundtrack of a popular movie over in the US and released as a single. So they've added it to the end of the album, and you can see it's the Sire logo, and all these copies, I haven't said, have got this motto, "Life in the so-called space age," on them. So let's have a look at the inside of this. The inlay card is a gloss finish. Apart from that, it looks very much like the UK release. They've put but not tonight, but they haven't bothered reprinting the lyrics. And then the only other thing to mention is this kind of extra little bit of flap at the top to make the task of getting the record out much easier. And then there's the Sire logo, quite clearly, yellow background label on the record. Next is a copy from Germany, 1986. These are just how they came out of my record collection. This one actually is a recent purchase, actually, because I realised I didn't have a normal copy of the German release. So it's got the embossed logos on it again. Nothing extra in terms of tracks. It's got the direct metal mastering logo on, the same as the French copy had. This is int 146818, if you're interested in catalogue numbers. The inlay is not going to be particularly surprising, I don't think. No, it's yellow text on the red toppers with the lyrics. And then we've got the classic sort of light blue Walking Man logo label with DMM underneath on the vinyl. And then they'll have another release that I got a couple of years ago, which is a special version of it from Germany again. This is in 146818 as well. The DMM logo on again and the embossing. However, the vinyl is different. The inlay card's the same, but the vinyl is a nice grey vinyl. So they did do a series of these grey reprints of the albums and some of the singles. And this is one of the ones that I've got in my collection. And then back to more recent deliveries, I got a South African copy. Again, this is from 1986. In a little bit more rough shape than some of the others. They've decided not to bother with the embossing and actually just printed the icons in a different colour on this version. And you'll see that on the CD cover. They've used a similar technique. No point in trying to emboss. And then the standout thing here is the track titles are in red, and you've got the David Gresham Records logo, who were the record company for Depeche Mode in South Africa, licensed from Mute. And let's have a look at the inside of this. So the inlay is actually surprisingly similar. However, there is a cut out here at angles, again probably to make it easier to get the record out. So that's a different variation. And then the label itself is this nice kind of quite striking blue colour with the Walking Man logo on, which yeah, I really like that in comparison to the pale blue, the German release. And then another recent delivery is from Italy, and this is a 1986 release as well. In Italy, you've got the embossed logos. It's full of total fingerprint trap, this one. There's lights picking up the fingerprints more than it is the embossing, and then there's embossing on the back as well. I think I've had this in a previous video already, but this is one of the few early ones that's actually a gatefold, so the lyrics are actually inside the gatefold there, which is pretty cool to see for an early release. So there's no lyrics insert, because they're in the gatefold, and then the vinyl itself just came in a plain paper sleeve originally, and you've got the yellow logo with the stamps on to prove it's authentic rather than a counterfeit, I guess. And the next one is my most recent purchase, which is a Scandinavian version. and this is the one that was holding me up from doing this video. So again, this is an original release. It's the semi-gloss with the icons again embossed, and embossing on the back, sounding like a broken record. There's no real indication that this is from Scandinavia until you look at the labels. The inserts are the same as the UK version. It's a kind of glossier version perhaps. And then the record itself has got BIEMNCB. It's stum 26. So this was probably made in Holland, but it was for the Scandinavian market. So white label, black text. And then a couple of ones that you've already seen in a previous video when I did the Japanese stuff, but I'll just for the record make this a complete overview of all the vinyl that I've got in terms of Black Celebration. Here's the Japanese version, semi-gloss panel. This is a 1986 promo with the embossing on. It's got this sticker on which you only get on the promos. It should have an Obi strip, I guess, but it didn't come with one when I bought it. Inlay card is very similar, and then the label. The giveaway that it's a promo is you have this set of characters. You have this set of characters here that tells you it's a promo. And also from Japan is the proper production release from 1986. Exactly the same, really, just doesn't have that big sticker there. It's got interesting barcode down there. And then the disc is the same, it's a black label with kind of silvery, no not silver, white text on, and the Japanese symbols there aren't there, because it's not the promo. And then on the inside, I was kind of half expecting a Japanese insert, but there isn't one, so we get very standard. Nice and glossy, it's a good nick given it's 9A6. It's just the standard inlay with the lyrics on. Again, there should be an Obi strip, I guess, but it didn't come with it when I bought it. Okay, so that's all the kind of contemporary 9A6 stuff. Now we're moving on to much later. So again, another recent delivery, but covered in another video, is a music on vinyl release from 2014, which I said was probably the smartest looking and nicest sounding version. So it's got the icons, but they're kind of semi-gloss coloured rather than embossed, and tracks on the back there as well. So it's not got Not Tonight on. It is a BMG Sony music on vinyl release. It's a gatefold with that classic picture that was on the singles 81, 85, and then an essay by Daniel Miller on the inside of the gatefold, and inside a reproduction of the lyric sheet, and then also the 180 gram vinyl has got a very similar label to the original UK release as well. And it's near silent in terms of playbacks, which is great, especially on the start of the title track Black Celebration, where the volume's building up. You do not want crackle. And then I also have a 180 gram 2014 release. Don't ask me why. This is on Reprise and Sire, so before Sony, before the Sony deal. It's still in its cellophane. It's got the same insert with a little extra bit of space to get the vinyl out, and then the vinyl itself, nice heavy 180 gram, very similar to the one we just looked at, but with the Reprise and the Sony logos on. So it's kind of almost a duplicate, but it is on a different record label. You know what? I'm gonna take the cellophane off after and have a look inside, because this cellophane's only going to stick to the cover eventually. So let's have a look. Oh, what a surprise! Yeah, it's exactly the same on the inside. So that's the US 2014 release, and then last but not least, lurking in the background all the time has been the 2016 European release, which again is a 180 gram remaster with that gloss effect. So it's the same as the last two I showed you. This is on Sony Music. Same on the inside of the gatefold. And we've got the lyric insert again with the disc inside, which I haven't rebagged, naughty me. And there's the vinyl label. So they were my Black Celebrations on vinyl. About 6 of those were recent deliveries. In the next video, I will show you a bit more of a variety of deliveries that I've had since recording this. So I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.